Right on. And so this whole experience is called the onboarding flow, right? And this is all part
Yes.
of like our strategy for building apps that can seamlessly get a user to trust you and to know that this app is the right fit for them. So you did a good job of kind of sticking with the onboarding flow style that we teach. You're asking all the right questions so that you build that personalized profile so that when the user comes all the way into the app, they're like, oh my goodness, like this app knows a lot about me. I can trust it. John, congratulations on launching Quixpert. Super excited to tell the world more about your product. And from what you just told me, you onboarded an ex-MLB player into your sports coaching app. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, he's a friend of a friend. He was in the MLB. He played for the Braves and won the World Series in 2021. He played for the Dodgers and the Angels, and then his shoulder gave out and he lost his velocity. So now he's here in Florida doing something else. But a friend of mine connected me with him, and he's super excited to share his love of baseball and his knowledge with everybody through the app.
That's sweet. That's awesome. All right, cool. So let's jump into it. John, please introduce yourself. Tell us who you are and what your background is, and also a pitch about Quixpert.
Okay, so I'm John Lynchkin. I live in Central Florida in Auburndale. We're located kind of right between Tampa and Orlando. I've been in sales my whole life, and in baseball, I've worked for New York Yankees. I've worked for Cal Ripken baseball. I've coached high school baseball and things. And after I lost my job in November and really just kind of bounced around trying to find something, I found this idea. And then I found Alim and Ambitious Labs. And it was the easiest and most cost-effective way for me to get this idea on the market. So, that's been the last, about 3.5, 4 months that I've been working on this. And so now it's up and running and it's ready for users and to help everyone be able to access high quality baseball instruction and baseball lessons.
Nice. Awesome. So yeah, give me a quick 30-second pitch. Like, what does Quixpert do and what's the problem that you're solving?
So baseball lessons are very expensive. The average lesson in the United States is somewhere between $60 and $150 for a half hour to an hour lesson. So Quixpert, you upload a short video, and I have experts from ex-major leaguers to current and former minor league and Division I players who will watch the video, give you feedback, and then you have the opportunity to chat with them. They send you a video back along with a text analysis of what you're doing. And in each video, they concentrate on improving one thing in your swing or your pitching or your fielding. And so what it does is for $20, you get what you would get from an hour-long lesson, and you don't have to go anywhere. You can do it right from your smartphone.
That's awesome. And you were connecting them with like really high-quality coaches, oftentimes coaches in
all
like
the guys,
Go ahead.
So all the guys on the app, they all give individual lessons, and I've known some of them, I've met some of them through other means, but I've met them all through baseball, through individual instructions and things. So if they're near you and you want an actual in-person lesson, you can find one of those guys as well. They'll be there too.
That's sick. And yeah, I mean, I grew up in a small town. I had great coaches, but I also had really bad coaches. And I'm sure for like people in like areas where coaches aren't that great, this could be a really interesting option for them to get connected with coaches who could potentially take them pro or take them to the next level. I know last week you were out at a baseball tournament and you were out there kind of trying to get your first users, get signups. You launched about a week and a half ago. What have you been doing to get your first customers through the door?
What I did is I've sponsored some baseball teams. On their jerseys is my QR code. So the little kids are walking around right above their numbers the name Quixpert with the QR code. So if somebody scans the QR code, they'll go right to the app. But I've been tweeting a lot. I've been doing a lot of social media stuff, and we had some hurricanes here in Florida. So my goal is to go out to baseball games, pass out Quixpert eye black and business cards and things, and find people to sign up, because you can do it right from your phone and you can get all the instruction right from your seat watching your kid play in a game instead of sitting for an hour at the cage with the instructor.
That is awesome. How'd you come up with this idea?
Well, in all these Facebook groups, there was baseball instruction and pro tips and baseball analysis groups and things. And there were people uploading videos of their kids playing. And some of the feedback was good, but a lot of it was just kind of old. And it seemed like In this day and age of analytics and video and AI and things, a lot of baseball has changed even in the last 10 to 15 years. And a lot of the stuff given out was not going to help their child play. So I thought, well, there's got to be something out there where you can pay for, a major leaguer or a minor leaguer or somebody to watch and give you feedback through an app or through a website or something. And there's nothing on the market. So I thought, well, you know what? There's got to be a way to do this. And, you talked about living in a small town. Out of like 23 million major leaguers since 1873, less than 100 have come from Idaho and Montana, North and South Dakota, Wyoming, Utah, North, and New Mexico. Well, there's nobody there. So you have to drive hours for lessons. You have to do this. And so Quixpert takes distance and cost out of the factor to get high quality baseball instruction.
No, fantastic. That's absolutely cool. So you're scavenging kind of these Facebook groups, probably have maybe encountered this problem on your own, and you saw that there was a need for it. That's typically how it goes. People try to scratch their own itches, and that's like when some of the best products are launched. But John, like, you had this idea, like, what's your work background and like your skills background? Are you in technology? What's kind of your background?
So I coached baseball. I worked for the New York Yankees. I worked for Cowardkin Baseball. I coached high school baseball. And I was in car sales and real estate. I had no background in tech other than, I knew how to make a basic website on GoDaddy and things like that, but nothing this scale, nothing like this at all.
So when you came up with the idea and you were like, I'm going to build this. And so it sounds like you're an ex-athlete, and athletes are very ambitious people naturally, right? Yes. So you're like, all right, this problem exists. I need to build it. What was your next step? Like, did you try to go hire a developer? Like, what was that process like?
Yes. So I've been looking at this since about April, and I had interviewed probably a dozen or more app developers, signed tons of NDAs and non-disclosure agreements and all this stuff. And it's just the cost. I mean, you were talking anywhere between $50 and I just quoted over $200,000 to build this.
Damn.
I don't have the budget to do that. And I found Ambitious Labs through, I think I saw a video or something come up. And so I thought, well, I'll just check this out, because what if I can get something on the market proving that this thing works and that it's actually something people use, then maybe somebody will, invest and we can go from there. And so then I found you guys, and I found Alim, and I found Ambitious Labs, and the app's out there. It works. It does everything that, that it needs to do just to work.
That's amazing. And then how much did you end up spending all in on our program, on other stuff? How much did you end up spending all in to launch your app idea?
All in, I think about $6,000 or so. And then I bought some hats and shirts and things like that. So all in is probably under $10,000, where I think with the app builders, coding and everything was going to be 6 to 8 months or longer, and at least starting at $50,000.
No, for sure. And your app, we're about to jump into a demo, but your app is pretty complex. You have some really complex features in here that make the process super super for a player to upload their video, for the expert to get that video. You even have payment processing in here. So these are all things that you built yourself, and you can now maintain yourself. Otherwise, you'd be going crazy, waiting all night, every night for a developer to come online in a different time zone. What I've noticed when I was working with developers is you'd pay them, they would do the work, you stay up all night till 1 or 2 in the morning, you give them some feedback, you're like, hey, this button doesn't work, this action doesn't work, and then they'd be like, okay, cool, we'll get that done. You wake up the next morning at 9 a.m. and you're super excited to get out of bed to check their work, and you get the app on your phone, you see that they changed one thing, but then now another thing's broken. And then you go do the same thing again that night on Tuesday, and you just keep doing it over and over again until you realize that, oh my goodness, I'm just draining my bank account paying these guys by the hour because they're not incentivized the same way that you are. But now you have the skills to, make changes yourself. And I noticed that you've been doing that as you've been listening to customers. What's your life like now Now that you know how to build an app yourself and you have a family and you have like other things going on, how are you balancing, building this app with your personal life?
Well, my kids are at school and at camp, and I was just doing this stuff during the day. I'm just, working on this a couple hours here, a couple hours there, and then trying to make sure that, you get with coaches when they're available and making sure that, writing down all my questions so that I don't forget them later later on, because, you don't realize all the stuff that goes into the app when you open it up. All the folders that have to be pulled from to open it up, and then all of the other things that go on until you're actually doing it. So yeah, but no, like I said, it's just, I've been doing it during the day and a couple hours here, a couple hours there, doing everything.
Right on. Cool. Well, I got your homepage pulled up. One thing that a lot of people ask us is like, can you build web apps with Ambitious Labs and with our tech stack? We definitely are mobile first, but web apps are absolutely possible. And you're a perfect example of that. You built a web app using our tech stack. My first question to you, John, is why did you go with web?
Well, part of it was because the feedback I received before I launched from experts was that they wanted to be able to watch the videos on a larger screen, that the screen recorder Loom was easier to use on a desktop or on a laptop, on a computer, than it was on an iPad or a phone. So for them, it was easier. And then a lot of people told me they don't like downloading apps. They would rather just open up the website and say, we're going to go here, we're going to do it, and this is the way we're going to do it. They don't want more stuff clouding their screen and whatnot.
And that really matters. Like the environment that somebody engages in your technology, like really, really matters. And oftentimes people overlook that. For example, like if I'm reviewing someone's swing and I'm paying money for it, well, if I'm getting my swing reviewed and I'm paying money for it, I would hope that the person on the other side reviewing it is giving me their full attention. They're not in the line at Starbucks, waiting for their coffee and doing it on their phone, putting half effort into my review. I would want them to be sitting at a desk or at a laptop and giving me a very intentional review on my swing. So I think like that level of thinking, people often overlook, but it's super, super important. Right on. So this is your landing page. I'd love for you to kind of walk me through step by step how I would use Quixpert if I'm an expert and I need to offer my services, make a couple extra bucks, but also help the generation before me. Mm-hmm. Or if I'm a baseball player or I'm a parent of a baseball player and I want to get some help, walk me through how I would do that.
Okay, so it's very simple. So you click on the button right in the center of the page.
Cool. But real quick, before I jump into that, I want to talk about your copy here. Like connect with baseball professionals today, get your first lesson free. I know that's not what you started with. Can you tell me about like how our team has helped you kind of think about, generating leads and the copywriting?
Yeah. So originally I think I put something like, let's send your videos in and get them analyzed or something. And then I talked to Alim a couple weeks ago and he's like, you need to put the ingredients in there, not the entire cookie or something like that.
It was, you want to sell the destination, not the plane ticket.
Yes. Yeah. So then I had to reprogram some of the things that I was doing to program so you get a free lesson and things in there. But through Ambitious Labs, then I was connected with some other people who had a little more tech savvy than myself, who can help me, do some of these more complex sorts of things, and including
Sweet.
like putting a free lesson in.
Right on. Cool. Go ahead. We'll jump in. I'll hit continue to the Quixpert app. I'm already logged in, so let me actually log out if that's cool with you, and you can take it from the top.
Okay.
Fantastic.
All right.
Do you want me to keep it as a web browser, or do you want me to kind of shrink it down as a phone?
No, keep it as the web browser. It's easier to see everything.
Right on. I'll do that. All right. Go ahead.
All right. So you would go through if you're a new user, obviously, you would click on the sign up, and you'll go through selecting whether you're a learner or a expert. And we like Sandro came up with this to name it a learner, because that expands your field into everything. And what did Thomas Jefferson say? You never stop learning. So you know what? You would just call you a learner. So there could be an adult who wants help with their softball swing or something. I don't, I don't know. So anyway, so you click on the sign up with learner or the expert, and then you go through the onboarding process.
And so this right here is your authentication. You're
Yes.
connected to Firebase authentication, right?
Exactly.
Cool.
So then this information here then helps our experts, because the advice that I would give someone who's maybe not as tall is different than the advice that I would give somebody who's tall. Or we can figure out kind of, okay, your problem is with your bat. We need to get you a new size bat before we can actually help you. And so height and weight and things like that help us to better coach you, because we don't know you. We can't see you in person. So we try to get as much information to our experts as possible so that they can give you the best coaching that they can.
Got you. That makes perfect sense. Create a profile and brand of glove. I'm just going to put raw links for everything.
That's fine. Yep, no, that's fine. And so like what this helps with is, this is kind of twofold, because different bat brands are weighted differently and may be better for a taller person or a shorter person. And so if we know what size you're using, length and weight, then we can better instruct you on, okay, you can choke up and you'll be okay. Or no, you need to get a smaller bat, because the bat is your, your biggest, if you're hitting, is your biggest problem. And then these are just kind of fun things,
Right on. And so this whole experience is called the onboarding flow, right? And this is all part
Yes.
of like our strategy for building apps that can seamlessly get a user to trust you and to know that this app is the right fit for them. So you did a good job of kind of sticking with the onboarding flow style that we teach. You're asking all the right questions so that you build that personalized profile, so that when the user comes all the way into the app, they're like, oh my goodness, like this app knows a lot about me. I can trust it. That's the point.
Well, and let me say one thing too that's kind of very nice in the way that you teach things is, I didn't have to do a lot here. I could just copy and paste it and change the words and change the things it was asking for. I didn't have to drag and drop 5 different spaces in here. This was I think through Flutterflow this was like a medical thing, and a medical onboarding, and I just could take
nice.
it and. Yeah, and actually, a user saw it said any health conditions under the one thing, and I'm like, oh, shoot, I forgot to change that.
Well, hey, that's actually really funny. Like, huh?
Yeah.
No, very cool. I mean, the power of templates, like work smarter, not harder. That's what it's about.
Exactly, and that I think that's why your program is 3 months, whereas a coded is going to take you probably eight or more to do.
Who knows?
To do the same thing,
right? Yeah.
So anyway, so this is the so then what you'll do is you'll go to it's very simple. You go to the since you don't have any videos in here, you go to the upload a new video, and then upload your video, and then you won't know who your expert is until you receive the video back, because the reason for that is I want videos back quickly. So it's whoever's online at this point in time. So once you've sent your expert a video, you can then send the same expert video if you enjoy or like how he coaches, or you can go back in here, send it to the queue, and get a different expert to watch your video and to give you the feedback you'd like.
Okay. And then payment. Right here it says payment. Should I click on this?
Yep. Click on that. Yep.
Okay, so it says individual video analysis plus 2 follow-ups, $20. Receive detailed feedback on your video plus 2 follow-up analyses.
Okay.
Cool.
And then your first time in here, you'll be able to click on the free one down there.
Oh, okay, cool.
So it uploaded. So one of my experts is going to hop in there and see that it's a video about nothing. So.
Oh yeah, they're going to be like, oh goodness, I can make some money, but then they don't get one. But no, but that's still really cool.
Exactly.
You have the free first trial, which is fantastic because, as I mentioned to you, like your goal right now is to get as many videos in the door as possible. Give them a fantastic experience. Give them the best review you possibly can, And then from there is when you should start seeing them come back for review number 2, review number 3, and that's when you start making the money.
Yes.
But that's really, really cool. And you're using Stripe for payment processing, right?
Yes, correct.
Nice. Very cool. So this is the homepage where I'm seeing my videos, latest analyzed videos, latest uploaded videos. Okay, and here I have like a library of all the videos I've uploaded before.
Yes. And then when somebody goes in and analyzes the video, then then they'll send it back to you. And yep, your video is here. I will send it to you.
So did you build like an admin dashboard too for the coaches?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So that's a whole different piece of the app that we're not seeing that you built.
Okay. So Alim, you should have the video pop up for you right now that it's been analyzed.
Yep, right here. Latest analyzed video, uploaded, analyzed. Wow, that's so cool. Expert was John. You need to keep your hands up. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I can rate my analysis. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And there's a video link of like
there would be
your review.
Yes. So if I would have done a video review, there would be a link there. So then you can chat with your expert. You can send him another video and say, okay, is this what you're talking about? Is this how you wanted me to have my hands up? And he can say yes or no. And then he can also send you some like YouTube drills. He can send you other things through the
that is really cool.
Chat. So
that's really, really cool. Yeah, and you built all this. That's absolutely crazy.
Yes.
So this is Flutterflow, Firebase, and you have no idea how to code, and you're able to put this all together. That's super, super impressive.
So then check your messages, and I sent you one right back.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, and one thing I've told you is like you have all the pieces here now of a functioning tech business. Like now it's a matter of generating the business, and I think that's like the harsh reality that a lot of builders have to learn is like, hey, building the app is now. I'm not going to say it's the easy part, but it can be done. Now it's about growth, and so
right.
Tell me what's next. Like, how are you going to take this to the next level now that you got it built?
So my goal is to make this like Cameo. You're familiar with Cameo?
I'm familiar with Cameo, but maybe the audience isn't. Let's tell them.
So Cameo, you can have celebrities like wish you happy birthday or happy anniversary or something. You pay them to do this. So my goal in the long run with all of this is to license this out to individuals to allow them to individual coaches and to baseball schools and things to allow them to have another way to make money. And what I would like Quixpert to do then is to get like major league players like Acuna Jr., right? How cool would that be, Alim? If you're a little kid, you can upload a video and pay to have your favorite Braves player. I know you're a Braves fan. Your favorite Braves player watch it and send you a video back saying, you know what, epic. Do this, right? And so that's kind of my end goal with all this is to help allow baseball schools to be able to cater to their clients in a better manner, being it anytime, anywhere, and to bring baseball to everybody worldwide. Because this will work. I had Canadians trying it, and it worked in Canada. All over the world, you can use this and get the best baseball instruction, in the planet just from your smartphone.
Yeah, that's absolutely epic. I pulled up Cameo here for those who don't know, but yeah, Cameo is a marketplace for like finding celebrities, and you can get them to like make you videos. But that's a sick vision, John. That's absolutely a sweet vision, and I pray that it comes to life. That's absolutely sick.
Thank you.
So cool. Now you're growing it. You got the vision. I guess like just to put it out there, like you built this yourself. How long did it take you to build it?
I started the program in the middle of June, like June 18th, and I had it launched by the end of September.
Wow. So
about a little over 3 months.
Little over 3 months. Wow.
3 months, yeah.
Honestly speaking, how hard was it?
It was difficult. You got building it in a UI was easy. Using Flutterflow to actually design your app, design it, get it working, or getting it looking like an app and how you want it was fairly simple. then trying to figure out how to do all the videos on the back end and all the back end calling and stuff was a ton of red screens, was a ton of, going to the meetings and then having to, I hired some people to help me because it just, I couldn't figure it out. But like I said before, this is a much better option for those who don't have $200,000 to invest in a coded app and want to be able to do something themselves. It's 3 months this app was done. And it works. It does things that no other app does.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That makes sense. But it was hard. And that's what I try to tell people. Like, it's not easy. Like, I know we try to tell people, like, hey, you don't need to know how to code, but you do need to get willing to roll up your sleeves and get your hands dirty, because this is definitely mentally challenging. And if you're afraid of a good challenge, this definitely isn't for you. But if you do enjoy challenges, you like to acquire new skills, and you're just ready to build something that you can call your own, that's live in the world, this is absolutely the right place. Oftentimes, we see builders who want to enroll in the program. They think that they can just fork up a bunch of money to a developer and the developer would just build them the perfect product. But in reality, that developer isn't aligned with your goals. That vision that you had, John, for building the Cameo for sports, for sports coaching, your developer doesn't care about your vision. They do not care how big you want to grow. They do not care if you're, taking out a loan to build this app or putting it on credit cards. They just want to get paid. And rightfully so. They need to pay their bills, their labor workers at the end of the day as well. But you have a business to run. And so it's really important that you stay cash conscious and that you prioritize getting the app to the market. Because I know one more thing about you, John, you have only been in the market for 2 or 3 weeks, and I've already seen you adjust the app so much because you're talking to real people now. Too many times entrepreneurs also build an app. They spend 3-4 months, tens of thousands of dollars to build an app. They launch it and then nobody wants to use it, or they don't know how to grow it next because they weren't validating that the idea needed to exist in the first place.
Right. 100%. There's things as I talk with people, they're like, well, about this, or there's things that you don't think about as a developer until you're actually talking to people, trying to, for example, one mom asked me, do I need a different email address for each of my kids to sign up? And I was like, well, I didn't think about that. I didn't think about that. So now I have to go back and figure out how to put multiple profiles under one email address, and then, or I can just say, you know what, we'll work on it. For sure. We'll work on it. In a 2.0, maybe we'll have that happen.
Absolutely. And at least now you know that when you build that feature, when you spend that time, that effort, that money, you're building it for someone who's actually ready to use it on the other side. Instead of spending weeks or months building features that you think somebody's going to use, instead you're building it knowing that someone's actually on the other side.
Well, and my biggest piece of advice for people who would watch this and consider, building this is, it really is a minimal viable product. Don't put anything in there that is not needed at all. I had all kinds of ideas of things that I want to put in here, but it's not possible and it's not worth the hours and the money if the first feature that is important doesn't work.
Yeah.
So find that one major feature that you need, and it works. My videos upload, my videos go to the pros, the videos come back. It all works. It all works. Yeah.
Absolutely. No, John, thank you so much. My last question to you, would you recommend Dreams into Apps to someone trying to build their app?
I would definitely. That before you shell out money to get a coded app, I would definitely try to build your own. Even if you're going to have to get a little extra help from maybe some people, do it this way because it's going to save you time and money in the long run. And they're great. And you'll like the biggest thing, and I think Alim, you said this in one of the first videos I saw, was how to speak the language now. Even if you don't complete your app and someone else has to help you complete it, you can speak the language, know the acronyms, and not sound like an idiot when you're going out to speak to somebody later on down the line. 100%,
John. And I know you said that, you might be getting back out into the work world, maybe taking on a part-time gig. You're going to be able to take these skills, I hope, and maybe apply it to their business and change the way that people do business. So I'm excited to see how you all change your daily work lives, because all of us got to pay bills while we build these businesses. I'm excited to see how you take these skills back into your work life as well.
Yep. Thank you, Alim. I
So,
really appreciate all your help.
no, thank you, John. This was awesome. Congratulations. And yeah, for anybody who wants to download John's app, to access John's app, I'm going to leave a link in the description. So go ahead, click there, sign up. And then if you want to get a hold of John, I'll also leave his contact information in the description as well.